Good morning, YouTube. Today, I'm going to review a Porsche 993. Yeah, these are the air-cooled bad boys.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
For your channel, my name is Dan, and we are at our dealership NG Supercars, and we just got in this 993 on trade. I feel like I'm Poland because the Germans are invading. We have more German cars here than we have ever had. We actually have five Porsches. We have 5 Porsches and only 2 Ferraris. This isn't good. This is a serious problem for us. For all of you Porsche fans, I know you're going, yeah! And all you Ferrari people are going, boo! Well, it is what it is. Anyway, we have a 993. Regular Carrera, and it's the Cabriolet. Because every manufacturer wants to call their convertibles something different than convertible. Spider, Cabriolet, Targa, whatever. It's only got like 44-something thousand miles, so it's pretty low miles. It's not a manual. It's an automatic. So if this thing was a manual, it'd probably be like well into 6 figures, but because it's not a manual, it's actually pretty affordable. First, let's just do a quick walk around. We just got in. I have not driven it. I've barely even looked at it. So we're gonna see this thing for the first time along with you and take it out for a spin. Check out ngsupercars.com if you'd like to see this and other cars we have for sale. Send us an email, sales@ngsupercars.com if you're interested in making any offers. We do appreciate you guys' support. But here we go, let's have at it. All right, so Josh is luxuriating, reading me specs. He said it's 272 horsepower. I would have guessed probably like 250, so because it's the naturally aspirated engine. It's air cooled. It's not like it's the turbo or anything. 3,100 pounds. Okay, so it's fairly light. I mean, it's a small car. You look at the size of this thing compared to the modern. Like, this thing's massive compared to this. Like, this is a tiny, teeny little car. Yeah, and then you got OG microscopic car. Like, this is the OG Porsche, right? And then you got this behemoth. That's still fairly large, even though that's a small car for modern cars. And then this thing is just, well, it's tiny. Look at that. I barely have to back up to get it all in frame. Look at the 430 is just dwarfing it behind it. I love the body lines of these things. These cars have the very classic Porsche look, in my opinion, where you still have the rounded headlights and the kind of like bulbous shape to it. So I do love that. And actually the wheels for this era I really like. Yeah, the turbo twist wheels, I do recognize those from they're supposed to be in the turbo cars, right? So I guess that must have been an option. It's not a perfect car. It's a 1997, so it's existed for a long time. There are some paint chips and flaws in the paint, so some scuff marks and stuff. If you look under here, there's some scuffs right there. Oh, that wheel we need to clean up. Sorry, we haven't even really washed the car yet. So forgive the dirtiness, but I didn't want to wash it since we're going to be driving it and getting dirty anyway. There's a bit of discoloration where the original paint sheet or the PPF shield was. That thing was probably on there since original. It's been removed. This is super common on these cars. The rear light right here has a crack in it. And right here, it must have gotten bumped and it kind of spidered the paint right there and there. So that's a little bit unfortunate. Again, this is not a perfect car. It's got some age to it. Got another crack in this light, so both lights cracked in the exact same spot. Interior, however, is in very, very good shape. I know people like talk about how the 911s can fit like your kids and stuff. I don't know, man. You put a kid with this convertible top and it's like, that looks like it's gonna chop off their head. Anyway, whatever. Got the very analog gauges. Look at that. See, 40. Oh, I guess it rolled 45,000 miles. Well, I thought it was 44 or something. I guess a little bit more than that. I was noting these seats look identical to so many generations of Porsches. Like, this seat is the exact same seat they used for, I don't know, like 30 years or something. Looking pretty cool. Let's see. How do we pop the rear? Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, this is back when Porsche made their stuff real stout. Listen to this. Click. Listen to that.
It's very satisfying sound.
That's awesome. Oh, I guess this is how you pull the rear? Okay. I'm learning on the fly. Like I said, I've never had one of these. Okay, there you go. Woo, look at the big old air fan. Yeah. That sucker is crammed in there. Yeah. Engine is fitted with electronic octane knock control. Thanks, Porsche. This thing also just recently had something with the secondary air injection. I guess that's a big deal on these, and it's a pain in the ass, and it's been fixed. It had some other service done to it recently, so as far as we're aware, everything is up to date. Brand new tires, Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's. Really doesn't need anything just other than driving. Is this how you pull the boot? It is. I'm good at guessing stuff. Got it. Listen to the hood is very metallic sounding. The original stereo right there, and there you go, the trunk. I don't know what's under here, but it's got little buttons. Stuff. I'm not gonna mess with that right now. I feel like I'm gonna get in trouble doing that. Let's hop in and take it for a spin. All right, we're in a Porsche. It's got the same key fob as the 360. You gotta it must be the same immobilizer, because you gotta, hold on. You gotta, I love the way the door shuts. Gotta lock it, unlock it before, it was locked. There, okay. Now it should work. Oh yeah, let's us go for a little drive. So I'm gonna keep the top closed for a little while. We'll open it later, but for now, I wanna be able to talk. So this thing's kind of weird because this is the automatic, and the little lights on the dash show that it starts in second gear. I guess it's probably like a fuel economy thing because the Germans made this thing. Dashboard, everything about this feels very similar to the 930s and previous generation of Porsche. Like, it looks really similar. The gauges all look like a similar layout and whatever. One thing that's kind of annoying is the controls for the AC are blocked by the steering wheel, so you kind of gotta look. There's like a little AC button and a whoa. Okay, we don't need that. So there's like wee little AC and big AC. I guess big AC is like turbo AC. I don't know. German controls, because German. So the brakes feel pretty decent. I mean, for 1997, not bad. The articulation feels like it's from the floor. Oh, jeez, I can't see shit. Okay, there we go. Need to let the oil warm up a little bit before I really give it hell. Shifts are pretty firm. Like, it kind of, not a ton of road noise. This isn't too bad. We're going 50-ish, 55. That was a pretty big bump, and it takes it with ease. I mean, a little bit of rattles and whatever, because it is an older car. The interior is a little bit smaller. I mean, this is a much smaller car than the modern Porsches, so you definitely don't have as much space. Like, you're gonna get to know your passenger pretty well. If I stick my arm out, I'm gonna be bumping into them. So let's put into manual mode and start playing with the buttons now. So 3, 2, downshifting. It is not gonna blow you away with acceleration, but it's still got good Porsche handling. Now, the steering wheel it's a 90s steering wheel. It's large, okay? It's much larger than modern cars. Yeah, the downshifts, it doesn't really rev match, just kind of like shoves it in gear. But, oh yeah, look at this. It's like very little body roll. Here we go. I mean, it's got a good sound to it. It's got that really cool air-cooled Porsche engine sound to it. I do like that a lot. That's pretty neat. Yeah, like when you downshift, I just went from 4 to 3. It kind of like lurches a little bit. So I'll go 3 to 2. Ready? It's kind of like it's a little bit annoying. Not terrible though. Now here we go. Ready? 4. Oh, that's weird. I guess it'll automatically shift for you even though it's in manual mode once you get up to the red line. That kind of sucks. It shifts a little bit early. It was actually shifting at like 6250, maybe 6400. I didn't quite get to the 67, or at least not on the tack. Now, maybe the tack's inaccurate or something, I don't know. Yeah, it feels reasonably good with body roll. if I do this, it's a little bit spongy. Like there's almost like a little lag between the input and when the car gets to where it should be. But it feels reasonably tight in the corners. I mean, it doesn't feel like I'm having a ton of body roll or that, you know, like it's getting upset and the weight balance is off. It's smooth. It's actually, I guess that's one of the things I'm most surprised with is the suspension is very good as far as comfort. Like I feel very comfortable. The seats are very comfortable. The suspension feels very compliant. Like these are all back Texas roads. They are not smooth. They're pretty rough, and I am very reasonably comfortable. I'm enjoying this drive. I feel like I could take this on a long drive and actually be comfortable the whole time. Now that's kind of, I think, more the point of this car. This is more of like a cruiser, right? This isn't like, let's take it out to the track and flog the car and set lap records and, you know, see how fast we can go. No, I mean, this is meant to do what I'm doing right now. Go on some back roads, set a cool destination that's 50 or 100 miles away, take the back roads there, you know, go out, get yourself a nice lunch, come back, have an enjoyable afternoon. That's what this car is all about. As you can see, it's kind of a rough road, and it's taking it very smoothly. Now, I know everyone's going to complain. It's the automatic, it's the Tiptronic, it's not the manual. Would this be better as a manual? Absolutely. It would also be about twice or 2.5 times the price. So yeah, that's a big gap. That's a huge gap, right? I don't know if I want to pay that much of a premium. To me, if I'm going to pay that much, I'm going to save my money and get the turbo and really go nuts. You know, now you're talking 3-4x the money. It's kind of nice because it's just an unassuming, fun little Porsche. You know, it's not super flashy. It's not like big wings and stuff everywhere. Now the oil gauges are strange. You have 3 oil gauges. You've got oil pressure, you've got oil temperature, and I believe it's oil level is the third one. And it's fascinating because as it warms up, the oil level gauge goes up. The bottom of the gauge is where it's red, and like, so it's like, you know, don't go to the bottom of the gauge. And I guess that's like, maybe as it pumps the oil, it's recirculating it and it consumes the oil or its ability to pump oil. I don't know, it's weird. All right, even though it's a hot Texas day, I'll suffer for you guys, and I'll put down the top. Now to do that, we need to come to a stop and pull the e-brake. Okay, top. Here it goes. All right, there we go, onward. Here we go, back down to 1 and go. I do like the sound of the engine. It's not like a real noisy engine. You don't hear a ton of exhaust noise, but you really hear that fan. It's a strange sound, but it's cool. I like it. This would be like if it was a little bit cooler out, admittedly. I mean, Texas, you know, maybe doing this in March or April more than June would be a better idea. Cruising on some back roads, top down, enjoying the sun, enjoying a good day, just having a fun time. The car feels pretty competent. You know, you feel good in the corners. I feel like you can feel a little bit of the weight in the rear, but it's not terrible. I'm not like throwing it around the corners, admittedly, so I'm not going to really feel that shift. Yeah, you really have to turn the wheel quite far to get it to actually go around corners. You know, it's got like a pretty slow steering ratio. It's actually very pleasant. The AC blows cold, thankfully. You definitely want to drive it with the little buttons on the steering wheel, not paddles. Driven it already in full drive auto mode, and it's kind of disappointing. It's definitely got more power once it's above 4,000. Takes it a moment. A lot more noise now that we got the top down. but it's not unbearable. One thing about these older 993s is they look so cool. I love the look of this car. It is just quintessential Porsche styling. These are just pleasant little cruisers, you know, just a fun car. Absolute blast to drive. You know, everything's analog about it. It's just analog gauges, the analog controls, nothing to mess you up. You just go. I guess the only thing that it's got the automatic transmission. Makes me wonder how hard would it be to convert this into a manual. I mean, of course, you can't do a true conversion. You would actually have to do a transmission swap. But something tells me that that's prohibitively expensive and challenging, so I don't think anyone's going to do that. If your expectations are correct, you will enjoy this car. It is pretty fun. It's not that fast. It's not the greatest, you know, modern sports car, but it's fun. It's got great handling. It's really shockingly comfortable. It's a little bit peppier than I thought for only 270 something horsepower. It's not bad. It is a good cruiser car. It looks, I mean, look at it looks very attractive. It's a very good looking car. I do love the Porsches from this generation. Now all this makes me do is want to try and turbo. Try to do a turbo. We're gonna have to find one. They're a little pricey right now. It's for sale, so check it out. ngsupercars.com. Send us an email, sales@ngsupercars.com if you're interested in making us an offer. We appreciate you guys' support. Go check out normalguyssupercar.com if you want to buy any parts or services from us. But you know the drill. We're going to be doing more cool car stuff. So you're going to want to stay tuned. It's going to be sweet.